the one that seems the most interesting to me is number one. I mean, it just looks pretty epic, right?
Yeah.
Just this design, which is Fort
That looks the
Lauderdale.
most Fort Lauderdale to me, that one.
Yeah. It seems like a cool use of the space, a cool looking building. And for anyone who doesn't know, this building was flooded. The current building was flooded in 2023 due to one of the storms that rolled through. And so it was shut down. And basically Fort Lauderdale relocated all their offices to other places and so now they're looking for solutions.
Right. It's like, how do we get all this bureaucracy back under one roof? No.
Yeah. One place of pain instead of just spread out through the city. Yeah. So what happened is one of the developers submitted an unsolicited proposal, and because of the rules and et cetera, the city had to go ahead and open this up to other developers to get bids and see what their proposals were. I think it was Meridian Infrastructure of North America that was the ones that also built the Port Miami Tunnel and many other things, were the ones that kind of unsolicited just sent in their proposal saying, hey, you guys got to do something with this. We're here. We're ready. Take a look at this option. Right. Yeah. So it looks like,
do we have a list in order here? I mean, are there photos for all of these? Like I hadn't even seen that second one, the aerial view.
This one. Yeah. So this is the Fort Lauderdale Civic Partners, which is Meridian Infrastructure North America. This was the unsolicited proposal. And they gave actually three options, right? So they gave like, hey, this is the super cool option if you want to get real crazy. And then a second, like in between, and then a baseline option, which is like the 12-story tower with 340,000 square feet, featuring wellness centers, childcare facilities, public art gallery, a flexible community space as well, which is what you're looking at here on the screen now, from what I understand. And then the optimized plan, which is 10 stories with fewer extras, but all these
no public art gallery. I mean,
yeah. And then the baseline plan, which is 7 stories, which is just focusing purely on just the government functions, right? And the use of that space. But 340,000 square feet. Keep that in mind as we talk through this. That's a pretty big number relative to some of the others that were submitted. And so I don't know what guidelines they were given in this, but they're all kind of a little bit all over the map when it comes to that. So the developers had till August 5th to submit their proposals, right? And so now we have all of them because it's been about a month or so since they submitted.
So here's my question. Do you think for a company like Meridian or any of these other large architectural groups, do you think they're like sitting on great plans that they just will submit anytime they hear, a major cities wants change to their downtown infrastructure, city hall, and they're just like, here, like they've got them waiting, like to present it to each one and hoping it catches on?
I think they have teams because as a engineer in my previous life, and working for some big companies, a little different than these big developers, but they have teams of people that are sourcing project opportunities because they got to keep doing stuff, right? They're submitting proposals. They have a proposal team, a design team that's like working on a whole ton of different projects, probably all over the country, if not all over the world, right? And they're submitting proposals and winning some and losing some, right? All the time. And then there's probably people that run point that know either city officials or have exposure or experience in certain parts of the country or cities that will kind of run that specific proposal and try to like get to know people to sway them to make decisions to work with this company, right? So there's like a sales element to this as much as there is like, hey, let's like propose something, right? Yeah, for sure. Okay. It's like who right? And so there's sales teams, and that's we used to do when I was an engineer, but for different stuff, right? So yeah, we would build those relationships to try to facilitate the win, right? But let's keep moving here. So then you have FTL Beacon Collaborative.
Yeah.
How many
I thought
square
that
feet?
looked a little dated. Like,
If
we were trying to be trendy like 40 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Less cool. Maybe cheaper, but less cool.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I hope it has some, advantage to it versus the others. Gotta bring something to the table.
It's a 229-foot glass tower lined with horizontal sunshades. What I wanted to comment on the previous plan was, as you can tell, or as you could see, there's no parking proposal that you can see from outside. And what they're saying here on this first one was,
you gotta have parking.
All three rely on parking in the adjacent garage. And they've even floated the idea of turning the Northeast First Street into a pedestrian plaza. If chosen, construction would start in 2026, completion by 2029. Yep. And what makes Meridian a little different is their promise of long-term operational support. They don't want to just build it. They also want to run the facility, which is interesting. And so that's what they're saying is a little different here. Now, again, I haven't seen parking in any of these really. So I don't know if that's a differentiator or not. Seems like they're all proposing to use the land for primarily just mixed use and not parking. But this is a 229-foot tower. I don't know what the other one is, but also primarily made of glass. They're saying everything but these beams. It looks like. Yeah, to your point, this kind of looks cool from above.
Yeah, all right. Maybe it's just the imaging from that angle anyway.
One of the comments they made in theirs, FTL Beacon, was, "We're going to elevate the ground floor."
From the
why
flooding.
Are they talking about that?
Yeah,
because of the floods. Yeah, so that's interesting. But this is what the front looks like.
I love how the descriptions of it, their design screams Miami flair. I'm like, really? I'm like, yes.
Yeah. It looks like. Yeah, it doesn't look like. Okay. Unlike other proposals, the design places integrated parking at the rear of the building, helping to reduce demand on the existing parking garage. Okay, so that's a different.
And I'll bet that quietly makes a big impact.
I think it makes
when they're deciding. Yeah, it's like, gosh, it's always the problem is parking.
100%. All right, Balfour, Betty. How do you say that?
Betty? Balfour, Beatty.
Beatty. Yeah. So I don't know this developer, but here's what their proposal is. This is a pretty substantial.
This looks. And that was the other one that I felt like looked a little more like South Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
This is concept 1, and they've also proposed concept 2 and concept 3. I'm not sure. Okay, so here we go. A civic-only building, mid-rise, glass-clad structure with government offices, commission chambers, and community meeting space. Number 2, a mixed-use tower that layers in private offices, retail, and event space. The revenue could offset taxpayer costs. A larger civic district that redevelops the neighboring parking garage into a multi-use hub, complete with housing, offices, and civic facilities. Big project.
Yeah.
So,
what I can't help but wonder now, in the age of AI and seeing all the renderings it can do on the fly, like when people are submitting, when their companies are submitting some of these proposals, they're like, oh, so it's just one concept. Like, no, we'll send you another one in a minute, and then throw it into like ChatGPT or Google Bay or something, and it just spits out 2 others. And because all they need to see is a rendering, and then they can just throw out a bunch of details later.
100%.
I just wish I knew more about the behind the scenes of that.
Yeah, you want 4 renderings, 5 renderings? 10
renderings? Yeah. Put it right out. And to the credit of the ChatGPTs and whoever else in the world right now, they do a pretty good job.
Yeah.
If I didn't know any better, I'd be like, oh yeah, they had this in the can all along.
Totally. So let's see what Industry 1 Development Committee is proposing. It's a hyperlocal contender. Their office is just 600 feet from the site, and their pitch is all about community ties and fiscal discipline. I would play that up too if I was them. Yeah. They want to consolidate all city departments into one central hub. Their design includes integrated workspaces, commission chambers, and public gathering areas meant to strengthen civic connection. They're pushing an economically mindful approach, promising the city one time on budget delivery.
That looks like the budget-friendly one, if I didn't know any differently.
Totally. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, and again, they're not throwing out how much square feet and all that stuff in some of these communications, but it looks, so it's hard to compare. But all these companies are like, they have reps in South Florida, they have exposure. Right. Yeah. Let's Cypress West. All right. Yeah. Cypress West is taking a very different route. Instead of building one massive tower downtown, they're proposing dual campus sites or dual campus systems. Downtown with a leaner 100,000 square foot city hall for public facing functions like commission chambers and civic services. And then a West Cypress site. The existing Kaplan building would be repurposed for back office operations. So put all the back office people in the old building.
Yeah, I that's an interesting take. I don't understand the advantage to that.
Yeah. I think part of it might be delivery time. They're saying they can finish in 2028, whereas some of these other guys are saying that too. One guy's saying he could do a ribbon cutting. FTL Beacon Collaborative thinks they can do it by mid 2027. Pretty aggressive timeline.
Yeah. And I'm sure you've dealt with that a lot. How often they say they're going to deliver on that. You get the deal. They haven't had it finished. Well, it's like, well, you can't pull out now. They know that. So I'm just always skeptical with timelines when it comes to this.
Yeah. Here's my thing about this. FTL City Hall partners, besides the comment you made earlier.
I mean, come on. Now you can't unsee it. I know you know.
No. Yeah. Okay. Besides that, though, this is like a little, like when we're trying to sell houses, we want to appeal to the masses. Right. This is kind of like a pretty extreme version, right?
Is that the Brightline station, by the way, that right at the front of it?
I believe
so. Is the point.
Yeah, I believe it is. Because if you just again, I think this is the old building being demolished for anybody who cares. And that's commercial. And then this is where it is, right? So where the heck is the Brightline? It's over here somewhere. Oh, that's our office.
Now, I was going to say, that's pretty close to our virtual office because I remember seeing the Brightline.
Yeah, our office is right next door. Yeah. So which is actually great. And the Brightline's right by here. Where the heck? Oh, here, right? So anyway, this is where it's at specifically, which is right in downtown. And so what I was doing earlier was I was playing around with just what's for sale in this little half-mile sector, just for anybody. We're talking real estate. So you can see you can get a condo for $260,000 in the area. That's the cheapest thing. Most of these buildings, by the way, in the surrounding area are 2005, 2007. Most of this stuff is condos. You're not really seeing anything much else in this half-mile radius, but things go for as much as $10 million. There's stuff in the million range, but you could pick up a condo or something in this 500, 400, 600, 700 range, which I thought was just a good thing to share.
Yeah, that's interesting
with the group here. So kind of an industrial look, right down the street, walking distance, kind of cool. Unique building. So that's the Avenue Lofts, which is neat. But back to this, we digress. So this is the last proposal here, right? And this is the prestige pitch, they call it. $260 million is the proposed price tag for this. It's a 10-story Class A office building designed to consolidate every city department under one roof, 196,000 square feet of space. So compare that to the first one we talked about. It's still it's still only 2/3 of the first one, which is kind of
Yeah.
interesting. So it seems like you don't need 300 square feet of space to serve what Fort Lauderdale needs, but it would be good use of space to build something epic on that property, and then find a way to use it, right? Whether it's leasing it out as an office building or what, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. I'd be interested how they'll decide on this, if they're going to have like a score sheet to break it down by, you know, functionality, style, something, parking. You know what I mean? Like,
look at the side view. I mean, this thing is pretty
which
epic.
I'll say it's different. You know, to all of them. I mean, that definitely is the most unique as far as
it is pretty epic.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't say I didn't like it. It's just what stood out to me.
Yeah. 4-story garage next door.
Right. Which I think is going to be a huge factor.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I'd imagine that the people who make this decision, I certainly would hope, are accounting for, you know, needing parking and stuff like that. Whereas, you know, me, I make the silly assumption that it's going to be, oh yeah, they wouldn't leave that out.
Yeah.
Oh, crap, they left it out.
Yeah, exactly. So that's interesting. And again, all of these guys have serious experience in the area, as you would expect.
Well, it's a great opportunity. I mean, you know, we've talked so much about how, especially over the past 5-6 years, however long, you know, just that the Tri-County area has grown so much, to have an opportunity to kind of put your stamp on, you know, one of the most important buildings right there in the heart of downtown Fort Lauderdale. I could see how that would be prestigious on many levels. So,
oh yeah, absolutely.